I think I've finally figured out how to paint dahlias in a simple-ish way. So let's paint them. Grab your watercolors and give them a spritz. I'm gonna start by mixing up a purple color. Then with my brush full of that color, I'm gonna start at the center point, make a couple little lines that are rounded towards kind of a center point. I'm gonna refill my brush, and around that center point, I'm gonna touch the tip, pull and drag and spin. I might also go from the other direction, pulling towards that center point, kind of touching it, but also kind of avoiding it. I'm gonna refill my brush as I move along so I don't run out of color, and I'm just gonna continue to move outwards, making more of those petal shapes, and then going in between them until I get some nice fullness to this flower. I'm gonna wash my brush, and then I'm going to mix up a different color. Maybe more of an orangey type color for this one. And I'm gonna repeat the same general steps. The good news is that dahlias come in all sorts of colors, so we can really play with whatever colors we want to. I'm gonna repeat that one more time with this slightly different color. Also, side note, the dahlias that I'm trying to do are more of the ones that look kind of like this, not the ones that look like this. Those ones are a little too perfect for me. You could just do a whole bunch of dahlia blooms, but I want to add in a little greenery to kind of complement it. So I'm going to mix up a nice dark green color. I'm going to add in a couple of those little stems. And then for the leaves, what I'm going to do is fill my brush with that color. I'm going to kind of plop my brush down and just kind of squidge it up and down because I want the edges to have a little bit of that texture like they do in real life. As I do this, I might occasionally dip into a slightly different green to make it a little bit different. I'm going to add in an ode to one of the buds that hasn't quite opened yet. I'm going to leave a lot to the imagination, so less is more here. Then while those are still just a little bit wet, I'm going to make my green even darker, almost a blue, and I'm going to add some center veins to those leaves. I already think it looks really pretty and you could totally leave it here, but if you're looking at it and you feel like it's missing a little bit of depth, we can always add in a few little details that might help. In order to do that, we need to let it dry or make it dry. Once it's dry, I'm going to slightly darken each of the colors that I used for the petals, and then I'm just going to add in some lines using just the tip of my brush. That's why it's really important to have a good brush with a super sharp tip. In some of them, I'm going to outline the petals, and other, I'm just going to make some outward strokes just to give them a little bit of texture. Dahlias are definitely one of my favorite parts of my garden, and I'm so glad I figured out a way to kind of paint them because the frost is going to be coming sooner than I would like it to. At least I'll have the paintings.